of destiny, or the fate of one's body. The fifth of 8 lessons. How shall one's body be used? With creation, which thou art an integral part and parcel of, all things are possible. Although, expect not to see nor feel changes or results immediately, yea, not even within days, for one does not plant seeds one day only to harvest them the next. Rather, one reaps what's been sown in the season for which it has been set in motion, comes to its own fruition. See? Whereas impulsiveness and points of view that are skewed towards material imprudence invites weights, measures, and weeds in everybody's experience behaving thusly, as in prematurely tearing the scales, so to unproductively speak, by universal default, of course. Like always begets like, a sort of accounting of indiscretions, if you will, whereas that which is sown in all fairness, forbearance, and honesty is what actually births and brings forth those bountiful harvests in the realm or vein of same. To be sure, for such clockwork is not to be mocked, and one need not fret or worry about outcomes necessarily if one just does their best persistently, for results will surely manifest in their own due course and time. Doing the right thing is not merely about it being seen or shown by others, but rather so that creation itself may be reflected through one's patience, kindness, and compassion to the rest of us. Indeed, these are the very things which nurture and tend to one's health, wealth, well-being, and prosperity of understanding. For as one thinks, so shall ye be. Then take heed of thy thoughts, for they too are indeed living things, like me and you, which can either become as thorns or magical fruits in the lives of those living thusly. Simply put, with the right mindset, coupled with correct actions, is all it takes to beget and keep one's living temple beautiful, thriving, and pure. So let nothing enter nor exit that is in any way, shape, fashion, or form defaming or defiling of thy soul's abode. Keep it clean and tidy in order to avoid pestilence and vermin from setting and settling in. Use your, as in our collective common sense, for it is the best fertilizer and pesticide against offense. Let not the confusion, delusion, or friction of the world derail or make you fearful, frail, or afraid to fail. Arm and guard oneself of such interference and nonsense, lest ye be sent back to the so-called drawing board yet again, or back into the fields to toil and trouble at own expense and fault. Is it not possible to be in the world and yet not part of it? Well, yes, for thou art part of everything in creation, from beginning to end. As long as love is allowed entrance and precedence, it will always abide with thee whenever and wherever one tends to things accordingly. Yes, the pattern has long since been established for us to follow by example after example over countless lifetimes of masters and like-minded apprentices setting the stage and showing us the props acting the parts, or in an analogously agricultural sense, having plowed the fields for us to reap the most bountiful yields from. If only we would farm as such. Therefore, conduct oneself as a producer would and should. Sanctify thy homestead, studio, and or place of work, so that one's body politic and accompanying lands may be glorified and known as one's very own property to care for and raise things as one sees fit, which inevitably requires some demoing and purging now and then, of course. You know, once in a while you gotta take out the trash and shit to the dump before a place can be spruced up. So what are you waiting for? Do it already. And let the spirit of insight and intuition guide you from within. Then behold how the ways and means will be shown to you naturally. No greater awareness can be had than that, prompted by dearly beloved Mother Nature's nudge in tandem with creation itself. 'Tis the alpha and omega of everything after all. Progress can only be stalled for so long. Yet, do not let nor even entertain the thought that an opportunity has passed or is gone. For creation is boundless and without limit. That which may seem lost is still right there and here in front of you. And it's never too late to begin or start over again. It just presents another stage and set of choices one must make. So realize this: every second is yet another acceptable moment from whence to step anew. For life upon this physical plateau is a continuously expansive experience. Hence, rhyme and reason for maintaining ongoing efforts and endeavors most diligently whilst making one's way across the material plane, whereby one justifies self via proper poise and a positive attitude. Like the age-old saying says, inasmuch as one does unto the least of things, including you, so too doth one do unto the greatest, which also happens to include you too. 'Tis in this and that manner the worst of the worst or best of the best is wrought and accomplished. So be gracious, kind, and loving if you truly want to find peace and prosperity of mind, body, and soul. Otherwise, woe unto thee has oft been scolded since days of old. Just saying. Just be sure one's brother, neighbor, sister, and yes, even a servant to same is able to think kindly of oneself as unconditionally as one's beloved pet would. And if they don't, well, it's because some shape, fashion, or form of indiscretion and or inequity lies at their front door. But let this not imply or give thee the impression, nor even permission, to condemn oneself, for thou art human after all, and hence prone to err now and then. That's the freaking point of it all. See? Remember, we're all part and partners of creation, so always act accordingly, not ever destructively. That is, unless in charge or charged with a legitimate demolition job. Then it's just more handiwork and additional fodder and or fertilizer for thy soul. But know this and take it to heart: that which is done in secret must eventually be fessed up to or owned, as proclaimed from mountaintops of yore. So to confessionally speak, for even though restitution and justice may be postponed 1,000 lifetimes until the scales can be brought to bear, one inevitably meets what one hath sown once again in time of its own fruition. Smiley face. And how might one meet something thought long forgotten or buried so deeply in psyche? Well, that's easy too. In the strength and vitality of belief one has in themselves. Go now, you precious and priceless daughters and sons of bitches, and just stop doing things you know to be wrong. Start with something easy, like not lying, cheating, stealing, and/or slinging false accusations or denigrations from mere hearsay, or when knowing little to nothing at all about a given situation without sincere inquiry first. Assumptions, as we all know, come from assholes, so don't be one of them. Rather, reconsider the source. Use the given opportunity to begin or keep on practicing the very art of presenting oneself as a channel of blessings for them, not to mention others as well.